stands for microphone doctor in the capital.
All right, y'all, what's good? First video blog of 2020. Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Today I just want to kind of, maybe this is writing resolutions, writing challenge for the first of the year, all of that kind of 2019 wrap up, because every year stands on the head and shoulders of the previous year. So, we are making strides. We're always moving for better. And this is a vlog on writing from the perspective of a black science fiction, horror writer, film, comic books, novels, you name it. Really, 2019 was a big year for film. It was a big year for comic books, especially, in the black side of things. And I think, books also made strides. It's probably not as much advanced because, black sci-fi is banging in the books more than it is in anything else. So books are actually leading the way. For me, I was able to release one of my older comic books that I've never been able to release before. That was Imani the Killer, No Man's Slave, in which she burns down a dungeon in Africa, which is really cool. And I got to release a little bit of that. But I also released the third book in my Harlem Shake series, which is Escape from Every World. And that was amazing because I was able to do sort of like a James Bond villain, where I created a whole world that this villain lived in, and they had a master plan, and the villains is Dolores, so you would definitely want to check that out. And then on the film tip, I was able to get out my third movie, The Death Pledge. That was amazing. Shot a year ago, winter 2017. Finally was able to get it out 2 years ago. That's better, more accurate. And was able to get that out. And that's out now currently. So where am I going? That's the future of this. And it's really not necessarily about me only. But I use myself because I'm contemporary, right? So this is the time I'm living 2020 with everybody else. So the things that I say, that I think of, I think they're important not only for the larger community, but for me as well. So I got to do my part, right? We had an amazing 2019 movie, which I think TV show series on HBO, The Watchmen, which I think was a powerful series. As much as I think writing is the authentic voice of the creator, the writer, film is on the other end of that, in the sense that it is probably the greatest expression, right? Comic books involve pictures, and they fall somewhere in between. Books are the primary, It all starts with the great story in the book. You get the emotion and all that. But for film, they can be amazingly impactful. And television is another form of the visual storytelling element or medium, right? And when you have a powerful show like Black Panther, Get Out, and now we have The Watchmen, it changes things in everything. So it doesn't just only offer a challenge to filmmakers, right? Okay, filmmakers, you got things that you can do now. You got to step up the game, blah, blah, blah. We put The Watchmen out. What does it mean for film? No, it don't just mean something for film. The Watchmen, just like Black Panther, challenges black stories. It challenges the whole genre. You have a story in The Watchmen where they are taking on white supremacy, right? They're taking on white extremeness. They are dealing with black rage or black frustration, black emotion, the black experience, right? And in a way that is not redirected, and the person doesn't have dreams of oppression and turn into a painter or turn into a writer or use it in their passion and go travel the world. No, these people use their rage and take on the system that oppresses them, and not through marching, not through anything. They are taking it on directly and fighting back. Hooded Justice, he messed up and he targeted the Ku Klux Klan. In this whole story, you dealt with white supremacists, right? And the whole message and how the black character became the centrally important character in a broad scheme to take over America, right? But it was because of the black rage that they were able to deal with the scheme and take it down. So what does that mean for like us as other creators? Well, I always said we need to have bigger what ifs. And that's also important, in terms of what type of stories do we think of, what type of questions do we ask, what type of elements do we embody in our story? Are they celestial? Are they dealing with new science? Are they offering commentary on the world? Or are we just fighting the drug dealers in our community? Or are we just fighting, small issues in our family, Or are we dealing with global warming? Or are we dealing with a global threat? Like, I just watched a video on Messiah, this new HBO show, and in the Messiah, they're dealing with the question of a Messiah coming back, and what that would be like. Are we dealing with those type of things in Black Sci-Fi? The other thing I used to ask people, well, how many people have targeted the Ku Klux Klan or white supremacists, eugenics or the skinheads, or just the white Aryanness of the Nazi party? Do we even do that? I mean, Nazis weren't just trying to kill Jewish people, so shoot, a black hero can go after the Nazis as well. It's not just for Jewish people to go after them, and we've never really, seen even that. I don't know, maybe I'll deal with it. I'm putting it out there, but, I'm not the only, I'm not going to think of the only story that might be good with that type of element. So, yeah, have we even gone after the Nazis? So, for me, I think that is the biggest challenge and untapped element. Bigger what ifs, more specific what ifs, no holding back what ifs, in terms of, are we worried about who they might offend, who they might be appealing to? To me, I always felt a slave revolt story was a feel-good story for black community, therapeutically entertaining. But, as we can see with The Watchmen, there's a lot of people that buy into the oppression of black people, and that would buy into a story that dealt with that. So I don't know. I think that's, this next frontier. I think this next frontier is really, we have to, I think, not be afraid, not limit our what ifs. I think we have to continue to take on the bigger issues, right? Global warming is not a white people issue. Overpopulation of the planet is not a white people issue. It is a issue for the planet, and black people, first people on the planet, so we should be concerned with that, and we should be dealing with that in our stories. The big question, if we are going to go back and get a device for from Egypt, what does the device do? What does the device do? Does it reset the Earth clock? Does it work like in Fifth Element and stop a meteorite from coming? What is the big question? At the grand scheme of things, what are we, are we doing? So that's what I think it is. And I think, I know what the stories that I have coming out. And I know I've seen some of the other stories out there. It looks like it's going to be a really good year. Sometimes you can't predict the Watchmen or the Black Panthers that's going to come out. Even Black Panther ain't coming out till 2021, so that's not this year. Avatar, they're not coming out this year. So, we don't know what the big thing is going to be this year. So maybe it'll be your project, or maybe it'll be my project. So let's see. Go out, see the Death, go out. Stream the Death Pledge. That's my new video, my new movie, the third movie in Jeff Carroll's assault on film. And what else? And that's it. All right, be on the lookout for everything. I am doing another LitCon, Florida LitCon. I'm doing another KwanzaaCon at the end of the year. We just had KwanzaaCon in Tampa, Florida, so we don't have the date on that. Florida LitCon is June 20th. That's another thing that's amazing. So we need to start to have these vital and crucial and important events that help us, not just celebrate us and get us to sell. Those are good because you do need to reach out to the community, but we also need to reach into the inner community, the industry, our community of professionals. So that's it. Talk to you later. Happy New Year. It's all good.